In 1912, 4-year-old Bobby Dunbar vanished during a family trip to Swayze Lake. After a frantic search, he was presumed drowned, but months later, a boy matching his description was found in Mississippi. Bobby's mother swore it was him. Yet another woman claimed the boy was her own son, Bruce Anderson. The courts ruled in favor of the Dunbars, and the boy grew up as Bobby. But nearly 100 years later, a DNA test proved something chilling. The boy wasn't Bobby Dunbar. So, who was he? And what really happened to the real Bobby that day at the lake? When LaToya Ammons moved into a rental home in Gary, Indiana with her 3 kids, they thought it was a fresh start. Instead, it became a nightmare. Her children levitated, and one was seen walking backward up a wall. A priest was brought in and performed multiple exorcisms. The family fled. The house was eventually destroyed. But many believe the evil still lingers beneath the ground. In a quiet Pennsylvania town, 3 men believed they were cursed by a local healer named Nelson Remeyer. They broke into his home late at night, not just to confront him, but to kill him. They strangled, beat, and burned him in a bizarre ritual meant to break the spell. But the house wouldn't burn. The fire mysteriously stopped on its own. Remeyer's body was found days later, charred but intact. The townsfolk whispered that the curse didn't die with him. And for decades, those involved claimed something still followed them in the dark. On June 10, 1912, the Moore family and 2 overnight guests were brutally murdered in their sleep. Someone crept into the house with an axe and slaughtered all 8 victims, 6 of them children. The killer covered the mirrors, draped cloth over their faces, and left a slab of bacon beside the murder weapon. No one heard a sound. No one was ever caught. The house still stands, and those who visit say the walls whisper at night. And sometimes you hear the sound of children who aren't there. Joyce Vincent was found dead in her apartment 2 years after she died. Her TV was still on, her dishes neatly stacked. She had presents wrapped for Christmas, never delivered. Neighbors assumed she'd moved. Rent was paid automatically. No one checked. When officials finally broke in, her skeleton lay alone in the room, surrounded by silence. In the heart of a bustling city, she had vanished, without anyone noticing. Of how close loneliness and death can truly be. The Mary Celeste was found drifting in the Atlantic in 1872. No signs of struggle or foul play. It was as if the crew had vanished mid-meal. The lifeboat was missing, but weather was calm. To this day, no trace of the crew has ever been found. Some say it was pirates. Others whisper about sea monsters, or worse. A ship adrift, a crew that vanished, a mystery that never dies. On September 10, 2001, Sneha Phillip was last seen shopping near the Twin Towers. Then 9/11 happened, and she was never seen again. At first, it seemed she died in the collapse, but investigators uncovered strange behavior. She'd been missing overnight, arguing with her husband, and wasn't scheduled to be near the towers. Some believe she used the chaos to vanish. Others think she was one of the unidentified victims, but no body was found. A tragedy with a mystery buried inside it. In 1977, the Hodgson family's home in Enfield became ground zero for what many called a real-life haunting. Police officers, journalists, and investigators all witnessed terrifying activity. One girl, 11-year-old Janet, seemed to be the focus. She levitated, growled, and claimed a dead man was using her body. Some called it a hoax. Others believed something dark and real lived in that house. Even the Warrens investigated and left shaken. Lars Mittank was on vacation in Bulgaria when things got strange. He started acting paranoid, texting his mom that he was being followed, hiding in hotel hallways. At the airport, he ran out suddenly, leaving all his belongings behind. CCTV captured him sprinting into the woods. He was never seen again. No signs of mental illness, no drugs, no evidence of a chase. Just one terrified man running from something invisible. and a mystery the forest still holds. A man bought an old wine cabinet at a yard sale. Inside, strange items, locks of hair, a candle holder, and a note that read, "Never open." He did. Nightmares, health issues, and a smell of rotting jasmine followed. Everyone who owned the box after him reported the same, and worse. One man had a stroke, another tried to burn it, but the fire wouldn't start. It's now locked away in a museum, but some say you can still hear knocking from inside. In Utah, there's a place so strange, it's been called the most studied paranormal hotspot in the world. Skinwalker Ranch. UFOs, cattle mutilations, creatures with glowing red eyes, and portals of light, all reported by scientists and locals. One family fled after seeing a wolf shrug off bullets and then vanish. Even the U.S. government investigated it, but no one has answers. Just one chilling truth: something is watching, and it's not human. One day, the Tromp family suddenly left their home without phones, wallets, or explanation. They drove across Australia, panicked and silent. Along the way, they split up. Some fled into the woods, others tried to escape each other. No drugs, no mental illness, just pure shared paranoia. Days later, they were all found, confused, scared, and unable to explain what happened. It was as if something made them run, but from what, no one knows. Room 873 at the Banff Springs Hotel was sealed off years ago. Why? The story says a man murdered his wife and daughter there, then vanished. Guests who stayed later reported screaming bloody handprints, even seeing a little girl, so the hotel bricked up the room. Now, if you look carefully in the hallway, you'll see where the door used to be. And sometimes, you'll still hear knocks from inside the wall. 15-year-old Emanuela Orlandi vanished in Vatican City, and her case remains unsolved. Some say she was kidnapped by the mafia. Others think the church is hiding something. Anonymous tips claimed her body was buried in a Vatican tomb. Years later, bones were found, but not hers. Why did the Vatican block investigations? What secrets lie buried in its walls? And what happened to Emanuela behind the holy gates? In Scotland, a quiet bridge has a deadly reputation. Dogs leap to their deaths. Over 50 of them. Always the same spot. Always without warning. Some leap, survive, then climb back up to jump again. Locals call it cursed. Scientists blame sensory overload. But no one can explain why animals act like they're drawn to it, as if something beneath the bridge is calling them.